in today. I normally don't care for these because of the radiation aspect, but might I have a yet the umpteenth pair of wired earpods that have gone south. What do you care about this? What the hell am I even talking about? What am I talking about? My friends, where do I even begin to start? Where do I begin? Where do we don't even know. Don't even know. Can't even figure out yet where to even go. Where we go. Let's see right now. Let us see. Let's see. Who oh, I know what we need to do. I know what we need to do. We have to figure out. I did not put one of my I did not put a my talk amongst yourself. I got a great little video, a caption, a wonderful picture of a it's great to be and I love to death the I love to death the videos that we can use for thumbnails. I mean, they really do. And some of them are so terrific, which I guess I'll get to later. But in any event, aside from that, my friends, where did we pick off last time? Where did we pick up from last time? How did we pick up? Where do we go with this? Gina, by the way, you know who I saw this morning who I've not seen in a long time? Syrian Girl. Have you ever seen Syrian Girl? She's terrific. I'm like that. Syrian Girl was on with Alex Jones. Alex Jones, by the way, SIRI, still thinks that I'm talking to her. She was fantastic. Hopkinson is here. Gina Destito is here. Welcome, Gina. Robert's there. Let me see. Las Vegas is 115 and we are praying. Dear God. Beijing Yankee Pahlavi, spelled interestingly. This is where I get to read your one word references to try to decode what you're saying and why, which is fascinating to me. The bottom line is simply this. Are we now any closer to resolution of what's happening? The answer is no. No. I just heard Bill O'Reilly on a bit of a segment. Bill O'Reilly is boy, he sounds so different as of late. Uh, People are still trying to figure out what do I do? Do I say what I think about Trump and Israel, or do I just sit back and talk about something else? Well, here's what I want to tell you, and I hope people understand and grasp what I'm trying to say. I'm so tired of having to always explain and always start off with no, no, we're not. I'm not suggesting in any way that I'm anti Semitic and blah, 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 blah. I'm so tired of this, but we have to get to the once and for all. We have absolutely no interest whatsoever in having any foreign country align us with a war that we have nothing to do with. Iran has nothing to do with anything. You know it, I know it, we all know it. And what's also interesting to note is I cannot believe the number of people that I'm listening to now who I never particularly cared for before, but who now make a lot of sense. Matt Gates. Matt Gates was on. Matt Gates was on. I guess OAN, and he makes a lot of sense. CNN has a piece of Clarissa Ward at a Tel Aviv hospital keeping patients safe underground. That's a very important piece of information. When the left and the right are indistinguishable, when the left and the right are indistinguishable, you know things are. Okay? I'm not going to tell you the obvious because that's an insult to you for me to point out the obvious to you, to point out things that you know to be true. But I think we all know what's happening. And the question is, I hope, and I was on yesterday with Mr. Attwood, I hope that the president at the last minute calls everybody in and says, okay, are we tired of this bullshit? Are we tired of this? Great. Let's put an end to it. we've had some fun. You shelled some things. Iran, you did it. Israel, you did it. Okay. I'm going to send the battle carrier out, turn around, come back. I'm going to posture. I'm going to shake some. I'm going to shake some swords. Uh, and we're going to just call this quits because nobody is for this. And let me just say, I think unequivocally, I think I can speak on behalf of a lot of folks. Nobody, but nobody, but nobody, but nobody is for any of this. You know this, and I know this. So let's stop pretending that there's any discussion. Let's not pretend that we're actually worthy or that we're interested in pursuing some kind of discourse. This is bullshit. Nobody is for this. Nobody is for it. Nobody at all. Period. End of discussion. Let me see some of your great comments. Let me see what we got here. Beijing again. Pahlavi. Saw Alex. You were fantastic with Shaun Attwood. Thank you so much. Krista says, no, it's not dead. This has to Bastion. America's siren would be first they got a nuclear bomb. You're old enough to remember when the people of Iran were free, the exiled crown prince is returning. The exiled crown prince? Do you think that's what listen, if that's what Iran wants, it's up to them. It's not for me to decide. But do you think it's a good idea to bring in, lo and behold, Pahlavi? The Shah's son? Come on. Come on. Lynn Arundel with a little, I don't know, what is that? Not a poinsettia. It's a beautiful flower. Carol says, I'm shocked Trump would gom along, or maybe go along. Is that it? Let's see what else we have here. Wild Bill says, I trust my president. That's pretty profound. So you have no say in this, right, Bill? None? Paul McCartney is 83. Wow. Is that that? Is that it, Wild Bill? You just trust your president, and that's your position. Nothing on your own. You just trust the president. Do you trust the president? I don't think he's ever going to do anything to deliberately sell us out. Does he make mistakes? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. 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 Sometimes I think he makes bad mistakes. The very fact that he lets the Hannitys, the fact that he lets BB do this, come on. You trust that? You know you can like the president, support the president, but not think he makes the right decision all the time. There are these things that come up. Remember that H1B or whatever that debate was? Remember with Elon Musk? Remember they were pissed off about that. Trump does make some mistakes every now and then. Do you think that maybe perhaps he doesn't get the right advice? Sure he does. Absolutely. Between Iran and 90 million people and Iraq at 46 million, that's a lot of people in the crosshairs. And did we win in Iraq? Did we win in Afghanistan? Do you think anybody's going to win? Where are the Iranian people to choose their own direction? Where are they? How do we know what the Iranian people feel? Do you feel, Gina, close enough, or do you feel possessed enough of the facts to um, say or note whether they're able to make their own decision? I don't know. Bald Eagle says this is not about nuclear weapons. Neocons are going after Iran's oil. Do you think when a neocon goes after oil, that's kind of oxymoronic? Neocons technically, theoretically, are not about oil. That's not their thing. If you look back to the days of Leo Strauss, if you look back to PNAC, oil was important in as much as it conveys and connotes power, but that's not primarily their motivation. You know that, right? Refresh my screen there. Also, don't use the term neocon as a substitute for war profiteer. Don't do that. They're completely different. Both of these countries were on the bad country map held by Netanyahu. I don't know what that means. Ironically, the only way Iran has to protect themselves is to get nuclear weapons. Well, that goes with every. See, that's the irony. The only thing, the oil thing is so yesterday, which is true. By the by, Beijing and others. Do you know what I'm worried about the most? Not getting nuked, having a cyber attack. You know that, right? That's what I'm worried about. It's all like you said, Silicon Valley. That's right. There's Freddie Haddad, ladies and germs. Cyber attack. EMP blast. Low orbit, low radiation detonation of a nuclear bomb that just takes out a Carrington class EMP pulse. Andrew says, what is going on with a rep that was done in Minnesota? The house gets broke into and searched, but nothing stolen. What is going on? We're past that. Nobody cares. Nobody follows that one. Nobody will be. What are the different variables that would be pushing DJT to side so strongly with, this is from Lauren, Israel? I'm seeing billboards in Tel Aviv with Trump's face and bold, finish the job, Mr. President text. Do you think those represent what the average Israeli feels or what the Likud or the Likudniks think? Mr. L, your mic is going in and out, being muffled. Sorry about that. Your earpods are going in and out. That's not good. That is not good at all. Let me try something here. Let me see if this works. Let me try something here. I do like my usual connected pieces. There we go. Let me try this. Let me take this out. Is this any better? I don't think it sounds as good, but is this any better? Yes or no? What do you think? Arcane says audio is fine here. Anybody? Your pronunciation is suspect on nuclear? Sorry from being an elocution Nazi? You think I would ever suggest nuclear? Side by side? Why the oldest aircraft carrier sent to a war zone? Ah! Do you smell a kind of a liberty in reverse? Not that Israel would attack the Israel, or excuse me, the Nimitz or whatever. But do you think it's almost like being set up? Let's send it out, and then if something happens to it, oh well. Yes, more consistent. 5 by 5. Thank you. And what regime would take over in the Iran? Over in Iran, the son of the Shah. It's louder. Thank you. You know, this is a question which is. It is not up to us to decide who takes over. It is not up to decide who takes over. Isn't that fantastic? How are we or anybody to think who takes over? Just imagine that. The absolute story line is so incredible that we would decide who takes over for regime change. It's not up to us. Not up to us in the least. Now, the bottom line is simply this. Iran means nothing to us. If we attack Iran, if we do something with Iran, it will be at the behest of Israel, not out of any consideration that we have. That's all. That's all. It's that simple, that that critical, and that basic. Now, I want you to also make sure you do me a favor. Do me a solid, as it were. Make sure that at some point later on you listen to me on WABC. It's called The Other Side of Midnight with Lionel. Pretty good, huh? So that's available at going to WABCradio.com or using the app. Or I think you might be able to use something like iHeart or one of the other apps that are available. I don't know, but you can listen and hear accordingly. Just want to make you aware of that. We have no history of getting a regime change correct. That is correct. That is correct, Gina. And one of the reasons why that's correct is because when you pull someone out, you create a vacuum. And what is replaced in that vacuum is a different story altogether. Trump is giving us an opportunity to prep and get ready first and take our chances, which is why he wants Greenland and Canada, which will be tempered in the near future. Do you really think he wants Greenland? No. Do you think he really wants Canada? No. Do you really think he cares about the Gulf of America? No. 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 Tucker 2028 is it 100%, ladies and gentlemen. Tucker has established himself. I want to tell you something, not to be crude, I should say, or to be rude, but there is a, how do I say this? There's this part of Tucker where he comes across a little bit as kind of like a phony. And he says, you know, I love these people, and I love these people, and I like Mark Levin, and I've known Mark Levin and the Rupert Murdoch. My golly, they're the best people, and they're such good. Stop this bullshit. You know it, and he loves it, and he's a Christian too, by the way. He's a Christian. Just, you know, the other day I went and I read Mark, the book of Mark. It's like, are you serious? First, don't remember now. He's good. Tucker's good, but there's a lot about him that's full of shit. Remember this. He's trying to figure out, you know, what am I? I think he stopped drinking, and sometimes when some people stop drinking, it's probably more of a problem than you realize it, and it's a tumultuous change. And when people stop drinking, they do it sometimes to save their lives, and they're so happy and so resolute and so determined to put all that behind them that they kind of get a little strident, dare I say. So you gotta recognize him, and that's good, and I appreciate that. But he's, you know, somewhere the best consistent voice in this entire episode, probably the only adult in this, out of everyone, is Douglas McGregor. He is the guy I would want as my rock, so to speak. He is the guy that I would want. Mearsheimer also, Scott Ritter also has a tremendous amount of information as to military. So Pamela Marek says, love your show on WABC Radio. Thank you. Thank you so much. Tucker also believes in spiritual entities. Tucker's sober for 25 years. I think he said he was... I think he said it was... Look, I want you to know something about me. And this is simply this. When you're sober, good. If you want to tell people about it, tell people in a way to give them hope, or let people know that, you know, you can turn your life around, or that's great, as opposed to, look at me, how great I am. Look at me, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. He said, you know, my family's European, primarily Christian. Someone says, Joe Huck says, I don't care about Tucker. Joe Huck, my friend, you may not understand what I'm saying, but we don't care what you think. If you don't understand how that is such a seismic difference, and how how the world is seen. The deep divisions within MAGA. If you don't see that, I can't help you. Shaun Hannity, long past his prime, needs to leave the scene. He thinks too much about himself and his voice. You know, Shaun, to his credit, has been around, but the hardest thing for some people to do is to say, now, how do I reestablish myself? How do I redefine myself? How do I put myself in a new position where I'm either the voice of something? Maybe I'm a leader of a maybe he's not going to run for office, but something along those lines. Do not be surprised if Tucker Carlson runs for office. Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan are two people that are absolutely positively so powerful it goes without saying. How about the lady who was found not guilty? I missed that whole trial, didn't you? Do you understand this? This is the thing. The lady who was, she ran Reed. I didn't follow a day of the trial. I think she was acquitted for like the second time, and that's pretty good. I think she was accused. She was found guilty of the DUI, but acquitted of the murder. I never followed a day of it. I'm not proud of it. Allison says a lot of podcasters are suddenly born again Christian, which I don't have a problem with itself, but it's not a license to be above the rest of the world. Yes, Karen Reed, indeed. I don't know. Tucker is awfully red-faced for someone who stopped completely. Look, I don't know this. If you're sober, keep it to yourself. If you're a Christian, keep it to yourself. Don't share it with the world. We don't need to hear how you're sober, or you're a Christian, or you're a family man. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Talk about ideas, leave people out of it. There are so many people in basements of churches and the like who are going to meetings and getting their 90-day chip or whatever it is, and they're doing great. You never hear about them. And they go unannounced, unheralded, and they've been 25, 30, 40, 50 years sober. It's done all the time. It's just like the woman who finds herself pregnant for the first time, and now she thinks she is the first woman ever to do it. In any event, my friends, thank you so much. Thank you for your kind super chats and the like. I'm going to get ready and kind of go through. I got to find something secular, dare I say, to talk about, because I don't think people want to talk about the rest of the world. I don't talk about this because there's no way. People hear Israel and they just... It's one of those things where I realize either you understand it or you don't. And for the most part, if there are people who don't understand it, I'm not going to fill in the blanks. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much for being a part of this. You've been very, very kind. See you today at 9 o'clock on The Lionel Show. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Don't forget to follow our other show, our other legal channel at Lionel Legal. And until then, my friends, as we always end this particular thing, again, with my incredible thanks to you. Remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dad. Love you.